Welcome. Welcome to Reading 002. I'm Professor Gare. Welcome to the spring 2011 semester. And this is my way of introducing myself to you by video, rather than send you an email with what to have the first day and some other things that you need to know about the course. I thought I would use a little bit of technology this time and send you this video, which is on my website. And so, let me get started by welcoming you to Reading 002. Some of you may have taken Reading 001 and are now completing the sequence, Reading 1 and 2. Some of you tested out of Reading 1 and just went directly into Reading 2. And so this is the only reading course you're taking. So that's a mix of the both of you. Doesn't really matter though. What really matters is that at the end of this semester, all of you have to take a reading exit exam given by the state of Florida, which means that there's a lot of hard work ahead for you to get ready for that exit exam. Not anything that you can't do, but a lot of commitment on your part as well as mine. So I want to start off with, first of all, the supplies that you're going to need. This is your syllabus. You're going to get a copy of the syllabus in class, and I'll go over some of the guidelines on the syllabus in a few minutes. First, let me go over the textbooks you're going to need. First is the main textbook. These are all available in the bookstore at East Campus. This is the main textbook, Reading Across the Disciplines. Notice it says on the top, Annotated Instructor's Edition. That's not the one you're getting. I know you wanted the one with the answers. Seriously speaking, though, you're going to be getting one that says a special edition for Valencia Community College. Do not buy this book over the internet or from another place. Only buy it from the bookstore on our campus because it's a custom-made edition that is being used by us. It was made for our campus. And so if you buy it somewhere else, it's not going to be useful for you. So you'll need the book Reading Across the Disciplines, College Reading and Beyond by Kathleen McWhirter. You'll need this book, which will probably come bundled with it, Thinking Through the Test. And this is a series of practice exams on the various skills for the state exit exam. You'll also need to purchase a handout packet. I've taken all the handouts from my course and put them into one packet that you purchased at the beginning. And this packet is available in the bookstore with this cover on it. And it comes with the holes punched already because you'll be putting it into a large binder. And then you also need to pick up, and you don't have to get this in the bookstore. In fact, you don't want to get it in the bookstore because they don't have it. Go to a good bookstore anywhere else, or you can order it now on Amazon because you're going to need this right away. The book is called Night by L.A. Wiesel. If you already have read this book, you're going to be reading it with a new frame of reference this time, with a study guide and so forth that you'll use. Do not use the old edition. Get the one that looks like this, that has this cover, because the old small one that has a little white shiny cover is the old edition, and the study guide I'll give you will not match that book. So you'll get very confused. If you're going to go to a bookstore, get to Borders, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. I'm sure any one of those bookstores would have this book by L.A. Wiesel, Night. If necessary, you can order it on Amazon, but I would order it immediately because you're going to be needing it. It's a very important assignment that you'll be getting to do with that. And so, what else are you going to need? You're going to need at least 2 different colored highlighters to bring to class. And I want you to bring a large, about a 3-inch thick loose leaf binder. And buy yourself a packet of tab dividers. Oh, about a dozen to 15 dividers in a packet should be enough. I would say at least a dozen. The Avery dividers are fine, the kind with the little tabs on the side where you can just write on them, or the kind of tabs where you write a little piece of paper and slip it in on the tab. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a packet of tab dividers and a large loose leaf to put in to the packet of handouts that you'll get in the bookstore. You'll probably put the Thinking Through the Test book in it if it's got the holes punched. They're supposed to come with the holes punched in them, these books, but sometimes they don't. And I'll be having you set that up in class the first day or two, so you don't want to be without it. And your 2 highlighters. You also want to have a miniature stapler in your backpack and a miniature hole puncher, maybe the kind that has the 3 little holes in it that you can put in your binder so it doesn't get lost. You can buy those in Walmart, save the money, rather than get ripped off. Rather than buy it in the bookstore. I didn't say that. Yes, I did. Let me go over some of the parameters of the course itself. You're in Reading 2. One of the most important things that we need to face the first day in class is some of the guidelines that are in your syllabus, but I'm going to put them out there up front for you now, for you to consider. Number 1, attendance. Don't miss class. Starting the first day, attendance counts. If you're absent the first day, it will be counted against you. You will have used up half of your absences already. How does that work out to half? Well, you're only allowed to miss 150 minutes of class. On a 2-day-a-week class, a Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday class, that's 2 classes because there's an hour and 15 minutes per class. If you're a 3-day-a-week class, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can miss 3 classes, and then on the 4th one, you're dropped. It's all in the syllabus, but please understand, you will not be kept in the class if you go over your attendance requirements, the cuts. Don't be absent for unnecessary reasons. If you say to me on the 3rd absence, oh, but it's an emergency, you can't drop me, I'm going to say to you, yes, I can, and yes, I did, because even though this was an emergency, this 3rd absence, the prior 2 were not emergencies. You did not have 3 emergencies in a row, therefore, adios, goodbye, you're gone. Do not abuse them. Life will give you situations where you have to be absent. That's when you take an absence. We'll talk more about that in class, but that's very important. Do not miss class. Do not miss the first day. The first day will count against you as part of those missed days. Do not be late. Leave yourself plenty of room for parking, plenty of time for finding a parking space on campus the first week. It's always hectic there, first week of a semester. Get to class on time. You have this video in advance, so there's no reason for you to walk in late. There's no reason for you to walk in without your supplies. You to go to the bookstore and get them prior to coming to my class the first day. But don't go get them right before class so that you're online in the bookstore and late for class. That's not going to work either. So get your supplies. If you have to make a special trip to the campus beforehand, that's fine. That's the way it goes. And get your supplies and bring them with you as well. Now, you'll also be getting another packet in the bookstore. It's called your lab packet, individual learning packet. I think it says individual learning plan or packet. It's going to either be a yellow or a green packet. I'm not sure what. And has different tabs for all these different skills. Main idea, supporting details, patterns, fact and opinion. And we'll look at that this coming week, and you'll find out what that's for. That's your lab, which is 20% of your grade. And I'll explain how that's done outside of class when we get together. And so, what else do you need to know? Well, first of all, you need to know that your cell phone is to be left off or out of the room if necessary. But you can bring it with you as long as it's off. If it rings in class, I am telling you now, you will get assessed a 0 for the class period. You may be asked to leave, and 5 points will be deducted from your next exam or an exam that you just recently took. That's how serious it is. Your cell phone doesn't belong on in class. It's a learning environment. My cell phone doesn't belong on in class because it's a teaching environment. I'm there to teach you, not to answer my phone. I'm not that important. I don't get to answer my phone. You're not that important that you get to answer your phone. We're all in this together. So leave your cell phones off when you walk in the door, because that's a great way to tick me off. Now, research has shown that the students who sit in the front row learn the most, usually do the best in class, and participate more in class and get higher grades. So hopefully I will see a rush for the front row the first day of class. In all seriousness now, make sure that you understand that lateness is part of the attendance policy. If you are late, that means that I've taken attendance already. If you walk in, I'm done taking the attendance. I've already called your name. You've been marked absent. If you are late 3 times, that equals 1 absence. On the 4th late, that's considered chronic. That's considered a problem. I drop your final grade by 1 full letter grade. Not a good situation to be in. So, there we have the late policy, the attendance policy. You're not going to be late. You're not going to miss class, hopefully. And if you are absent, there is no late work turned in. If your work is not ready the day it's due, I don't take it late. There are no late assignments accepted. Everything is due the day it is due. When I collect it, that's when it's due. If you are absent, it's your responsibility to find out what I taught during the class that you were absent, as well as what the homework assignment was that I gave that day that's due now the day you return, because when you return to class from an absence, everything that you missed and the homework for that day is due upon your return. This course requires a shift in attitude for some of you. For those of you who already took Reading 1, maybe not as much. I know that nobody out there is thrilled to be taking this class. None of you bargained for having to take prep reading classes when you applied for your classes. When you signed up for your classes, you took the CPT. Maybe some of you thought you were the hotshot readers of Orlando, and were given a rude shock when you were awakened to the fact that you are not the hotshot reader you had thought you were. Now, you have a couple of options that you can follow with that. Having been placed in prep reading against your will, nobody takes prep reading because they like me or whatever. They love watching my video or something like that. They take it because they're told to take it. Because they're told they're not the good readers that they thought they were. So you can have a chip on your shoulder, and of course you will not be successful. I can tell you that now. With a chip on your shoulder, with an attitude, you are doomed for failure. Or you can look at it this way. Okay, I'm not as good a reader as I really need to be to do college level work in the courses that are going to be in front of me over the next few years. So here's an opportunity in the beginning of my college career to improve my reading skills so that the rest of college will be much smoother and easier to handle. And if you turn it into a positive like that, and also tell yourself, might as well suck it up, just like Professor Gare had to suck it up when he was put in prep math. Yeah, I took prep math. And just deal with it. Instead of having an attitude, just have a positive attitude and say, okay, this is an opportunity for me to become a better reader, and I'm going to just do the best as I can in this class. Statistics show nationally that 1/3 of the students who start prep reading don't finish the course. Don't be one of those 33%. Be one of the 66% that do finish the course. Stay the course. Stay in class. Attend class. Do your assignments. Participate in class. When you get called on, answer. If you don't get called on, offer your answer. Participate. Make me know that you're there working hard and trying. Contribute to the class. You will learn a lot more than sitting there as if you were just a lump on a log. Okay? Let your enthusiasm for wanting to become a powerful student show through. The grading is as follows. It's a prep course. So you can only get an A, B, C, or an F. There are no D's given in prep courses. So your passing score on everything is 70. If you don't have 70 or higher, then your grade is F. 70 is a C. So it's A, B, C, and then F. It skips to F. Which makes sense because no one wants to think about the fact that you're a borderline reader, which is what a D is. A D is barely passing, and have to send you on to your higher level courses that are going to require you to be a much better reader than just a borderline reader. That's not going to work. So 40% of your grade will be all the work we do in the textbook here. This is 40% of your grade. The work that's assigned in here at every class and turned in and gone over at every class. Every single assignment is not graded towards your average. There are times when you're just learning a new skill where you'll get an effort grade, which means you'll get a check mark. I'll give you credit for doing it, but it won't be an actual grade because you're just learning the skill in the beginning of learning it, and it's not fair to really count it against you until you have more practice with it. As we get further on with the skill, of course, then I'll take it for a grade. But by the same token, if you don't do it, then you get a 0. So that's how those effort grades work. This is 40% of your grade. Night will count as part of textbook work, but also as outside of class lab work. Exams are another 40% of your grade. And the lab packet, which you're going to pick up at the bookstore, it's your independent out-of-class lab assignments. That's 20% of your grade. And that must be a 70 to pass. 70 in your lab, 70 overall in the course, and 70 on the state to pass. I'll say that again. 3, that's 3. Count them. 1, 2, 3. You need to have 3 70 grades. A 70 in the course, a 70 in your lab, and a 70 on the state exit exam to pass. If any one of those 3 components is less than 70, you don't pass. So, you want to keep an eye on those labs. The labs could be the thing that does you in. The labs you will be doing will be based upon a diagnostic and prescriptive approach. Take a diagnostic test the first week based upon what skills you do or do not pass on that. That will determine how much of that lab package you're going to have to do. Whether you're going to be assigned none, 1, 2, 3, or as much as 12 or 13 labs that have to be done throughout the semester. It's all based upon diagnostic and prescription of what you're assigned based upon the diagnosis of your reading skills. Have 2 colored highlighters in class at all times. So you have your 3-ring notebook. Get a thick one, a very thick reading notebook for the first day. Put some loose leaf paper in it. That's where you can put your syllabus, the handout packet, and so forth. Your 12 or so tab dividers, a mini stapler and hole puncher are important to have, and 2 colored highlighters, of course, are necessary. The course itself, as far as coming in late, Once I take attendance, you're late, and I think I said that earlier, so keep that in mind. You're also going to be getting a grade report in the mail. You'll get a sample copy of that in your syllabus. You'll be getting a grade report after every class that I collect something and enter it as a grade so that it may affect your overall average. You will get, after that class, after that assignment is entered, you'll get an updated grade report in email. That is extremely important that you read it and look at it. If there's any errors on it, you need to come to me right away and say, oh, look, there's an assignment here that's listed that I have a 0 on, but here's the assignment. You gave it back to me and it's already graded. I got a 90 on it. Can you please fix the error? And I'll say to you, fine, just write on it, please recheck grade, and hand it back in to me. And I will go back and fix the error because there's a lot of students in class and a lot of papers. I make keying errors on the computer, keying in the numbers and so on. If I have 2 or 3 people with the same last name, they're alphabetically right next to each other on my grade book. And so that wreaks havoc with, making errors and putting it into the wrong box. So save all your work. You're going to need to turn it all in anyway because everything in that binder gets turned in at the end of the semester. If you want to pass, you have to turn in all the work that's been done and stored in the binder. I'll explain that in more detail in class. The point here in this course is to develop your higher level reading skills so that you will be able to take any college textbook and read it with full comprehension, full understanding. Be able to identify the major parts that make comprehension, what the topic is, what the author's main idea is, whether it's stated or it's hinted at, it's implied. And if it's implied, then what is the author hinting at? What is the author kind of saying between the lines? How does the author support his or her point with details? What kind of pattern does the author use to organize all the thoughts and ideas, and how are they connected? What distinguishes something that's a truth from a lie or fact and an opinion? Or an expert opinion and an informed opinion? How do you figure out what the author's attitude is or tone when you read something? Because that's hard with, reading, to figure out an author's attitude or tone. Why did the author write this? Being able to critically evaluate everything that the author says. And I apologize that we just went black here for a moment. Don't despair. The screen is coming back. I didn't turn my screensaver off and I forgot to move my mouse. So now you get to see this. You're getting to have the video without me for a couple of moments, or my screensaver has to kick off. No, actually, you may be seeing a little bit of my screensaver now. Okay. Hopefully the video comes back on in a second. There it is. So now you just got to see my screensaver. I wasn't planning on that. Okay, I could remake this video, but you know what? You got to see my screensaver, I guess. And so, what I want to do is welcome you to my class. Tell you that I understand that you're not thrilled to be in reading, but you're going to have to just suck it up and do your best. The first week, get the name of at least one, preferably 2 classmates to whom you can get their phone numbers, because if you are absent, you need to find out what the work is before you return to class, so you have it with you when you return. And you may not be able to get a hold of me so quickly. I may be in class or what have you. So you want to have an alternate route to get in touch with me or a student. So if you have at least 2 students in the class who are study buddies, you can contact their telephone numbers and contact them if you can't get me by phone or email or cell phone or whatever, and find out what your work is so that you don't fall behind. Because if you come in and tell me that you're absent, I'm going to tell you, well, why weren't you in touch with one of your buddies, classmates, study buddy, or me for that matter. More students get from the course because they don't keep the lines of communication open. I mean, if someone out, this is in a row, let's say you're in the hospital, the time to call me and let me know that, gee, I missed the last 3 classes because I've been in the hospital is not the night before you come back. I've already dropped you at that point. You were out all those times. Contact me right away and keep me aware of what's going on. That's important. Another important thing is no plagiarizing. Honesty. I have had to drop very often this year too many students for dishonest work, turning in work that's either copied every single word out of the textbook or copying work from each other, turning in the same exact written answers as a neighbor or the person that sits next to you. I read what you hand in. I will know if you falsified it. I will know if you falsified the grade if I go over it with you in class so that we can grade it together so you can see how you did. I will be double checking those papers. Don't falsify the grade. If I say to you, okay, let's check your answers. Okay, if you had 5 wrong, your answer, okay, your grade is a 75. And I ask you to grade your own paper before you turn it into me, and we do it together. You put the 75 down. You don't put a 95 down thinking that I'm never going to count or double check or read your paper over, because I will. And when I catch you falsifying it, you will be gone. Pronto, tanto. Immediately. At once. That's it. Sayonara. Okay. So, what do you need to do? You need to come to class with a very positive attitude. You need to know that I am going to break my back, run through fire, jump through hoops, bend over backwards, as all those sayings go, to help you become a better reader. But I'm only doing that if I see you working equally as hard to do your learning process. And a learning process requires a learner and a teacher. I can't teach you if you're not willing to learn, you're not willing to work, you're not willing to try, you're not willing to participate, and you're not willing to be physically in class. I can't teach you. And the same goes for learning. You can't learn if you're not in class, if you don't participate, if you don't actively engage yourself with the work. There's an old Chinese proverb that says the following: if you tell me, I forget. If you show me, I remember. But if you involve me, I understand. If you're involved with the learning process and you work with the material and you really get into it and you just don't memorize it, that's true knowledge and true comprehension and true understanding, which is the goal of all learning. Deep, long, lasting learning. Lifelong learning. Developing lifelong reading skills that you will take into the future and know that you can not only handle your academics, but that reading opens up a world to you. A world that you can appreciate a historic memoir like Elie Wiesel's Night, or a good fiction novel. That's the joy of reading. That's the satisfaction of reading a good book, reading it and understanding it. Last but not least, 2 things. Written assignments. If you have to do anything in writing, like an essay or paragraphs of any kind, I do not take handwritten work. Word process the homework. Microsoft Word. Format is standard college format. Times New Roman, 12-point font, double space, 1-inch margins. Set your word processor for that so that every time you open up and start a new document, it automatically goes to those settings and you're set. Those are called the default. Times New Roman, 12-point font, double space, 1-inch margins. If you're a student who has documenting from the student's Office of Student Disabilities. Make sure you see me so that I have that paperwork that we can for the accommodations that you may be in during test-taking situations. I'll deal with that on an individual basis. And so until the next class, I look forward to seeing you in class. I look forward to you being on time, bringing your supplies the first day, because everything I go over the first day, as far as setting up your supplies and all, I'm not going over the second day. So you don't want to miss it. You don't want to have to be behind starting the first day. Start the semester off right. Get your supplies, your materials. Be there on time. Be there the first day with your materials. Be ready, willing, and able and eager to learn and work hard. And guess what? You will be rewarded at the end, because you'll be able to look back and say, I learned a lot this semester. I became a much better reader. And now it's on to all those other exciting courses that are ahead of me that I want to really explore now that I'm an adult and I'm in college and I'm setting my future. This is your future. You only have one future. Make this the best shot at having the future that you want, reaching the potential that you have. That only comes through hard work, discipline, commitment. Even on those days when you don't feel like going to class, get up and push your ass out of the door. I do it, and I'm a lot older than you. I'm sure you can tell that I'm not a young guy. I'm over 20, over 30, over 40, even over 50. Yeah, I know. Even over 60. And I'm almost 65 years old, then I don't want to hear from you that you would whatever. It's a long drive. Get there. Get there on time. I do, and you will. Okay, so now that I scared you off, no, I really didn't. I can tell you right now, follow the formula, and I am promising you that you will become a better reader because of it. Okay, and with that, I'm going to end this video and get it uploaded and send you the email to send you to this video. See you in class.